From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Well, this morning update is sponsored by Daniels Roofing. 3 generations of roofing experts working hard to protect your home and business. Licensed, bonded, insured. Visit their website or call Daniel today to schedule your free estimate at area code 530-736-0952 and tell them Mike Kruger sent you. This is one of our newest sponsors, and not only are they a new sponsor debuting today, but they are debuting on a very special day, because today is the, cue the music, cue the fireworks, 1-year anniversary of Weather NorCal. Yes, 1 year ago today, I came up here to my green screen, my home studio. I got it all started, and I put out my first forecast right here on Weather NorCal. I want to thank all of the sponsors, of course, the new ones like Daniels Roofing coming on, and the sponsors that came on board before I even launched and have come on through this last year. Without the sponsors, Weather NorCal could not have made it to this 1-year anniversary. And of course, I've got to thank all of you for watching, who have supported me since day one, and those of you that have discovered Weather NorCal over the last year. Hopefully more people will discover what a great resource Weather NorCal is. So very excited, the 1-year anniversary of Weather NorCal. And of course, we've got some pictures I want to show you. One picture, trying to do a picture a day. If we can get more pictures from you coming on in. And Tracy Sackett sent this one from Fall River Mills. Look at that. I mean, what a beautiful area we live in. This is the Fall River Mills area. Just some of those wispy high clouds off the distance. Looks like a horse hanging out in the pastures there. Absolutely gorgeous. If you want to send your pictures, send them through the free Weather NorCal app. Just go to your app store, search for Weather NorCal, download the app for free, and before you know it, you can share those photos. And I want you to share your photos. A sunset photo, a sunrise photo, one that you just saw, a cloud photo, your pets, whatever. It's just love to see all of the wonderful photos out there, and I want to share at least one a day. And if you don't see it the day that you post it or a day after you post it, no need to worry. I've got it in the archives. I'll be sharing one a day. All right, here's a look at your weather headlines. It's warmed back up out there. We've got that fire danger increasing slightly as those temperatures begin to increase. Now, the heat wave is expected to peak this weekend, in particular on Saturday, with a deeper marine layer on the coast. So as we're talking about all this heat, well, they're not experiencing that heat on the coast. They're going to be looking at those cooler temperatures. All right, here's your neighborhood forecast at a glance. We are inching toward that 100-degree mark in the valley. Some of us could touch 100. It's not out of the question, but for the most part in the upper 90s for even Trinity County. Some of that haze and smoke that we've seen. They're the mostly cloudy skies we have on the coast. And of course, partly cloudy skies. There's actually some cloud cover coming in from the west, which we'll talk about that here in a second. Today is senior day for the Shasta District Fair. And wouldn't you know it, it's almost 100 degrees, but it's getting even warmer for Friday and going into Saturday as well, 105 to 106 degrees as a matter of fact. Now we take a look at the sites fire. This is generally where the fire is, and want to show you all of the smoke that we have out there. But really what I want to show you here is the fact that we haven't seen a lot of activity in the last 24 hours. When you see red, what that's doing is it's showing in the last 12 hours, it's picked up some fire activity. That's not the case here. We're seeing yellows and oranges here indicating over the last 24 to 48 hours. So again, we're not seeing any recent activity that's being picked up by the satellite. And on top of that, we look at the hot spots. We're not in that extreme category, so the fire is not burning as hot as it has been over the last few days. So that means it's also not generating as much smoke. But for those of you that are close to the fire, well, of course, that's a different story, right? You're at least seeing some of that haze. So that haze is kind of making its presence known. For many parts of Northern California, these are the areas where we're seeing more of that haze, but not necessarily smelling smoke or seeing a lot of smoke. But there you can see the main fire there right here. That is going to be producing some heavier smoke possibly as we go into this afternoon, especially for southwestern portions of Glenn County, but still seeing a lot of that haze out there as we take you through the day today. All right, let's talk about the winds and the humidity and what that fire danger is looking like over the next few days, because yes, the wind, no major wind events, but it's still going to be a bit breezy at times out there, including the valley, but more of a southerly flow of winds. Now that south wind is one of the reasons why we're seeing more of that smoke or haze over many parts of Northern California, but it's also helping to contribute to some higher fire danger, because the thing is, not only are the winds a little breezy at times, but look at the humidity levels. Even for the mountains, you're down into the single digits and lower teens. And that'll be the case once again going into your Friday. No big changes there. It's going to continue to stay dry. But again, as temperatures increase with the low humidity, and of course those winds picking up a little bit here, we're in that moderate to high category, kind of within this category right here for the valley. We go into Friday. Notice we're seeing more of the oranges and reds in there. Now we're getting in the high to even very high category, especially for the north end of the valley. Not quite as bad to the south, but bottom line, that fire danger is increasing. And really one of the big reasons why is because of the heat. It's picking up and it's helping dry things out even more. Remember, I was mentioning some clouds are moving in. We do have this disturbance which is pushing to our north, and it is pushing some clouds in as well. I mean, could you call it mostly cloudy? Sure, but it's going to be mainly in the form of some high and mid-level clouds. So it's going to have a slight impact on our daytime highs. All right, but with that all being said, there is a heat advisory, but that won't take effect until Saturday, 11 a.m. as a matter of fact. So it's mainly going to be a Saturday event where we do have this heat advisory. And another thing you'll notice, it's not really extending that far outside of the valley. So it's mainly just the valley here in Northern California that we're dealing with this heat advisory as issued by the National Weather Service. So again, it's warming back up. So we have this broad trough of low pressure that's in place. That's one of the contributing factors to allowing these clouds to move in here for today. But that trough of low pressure is going to weaken a bit as we see this ridge of high pressure build back in over the desert southwest. This is where the main bubble of heat is. This is where the biggest heat is going to be, but it is extending into Northern California. But one of the impeding factors for it extending as far as it would like to are these storm systems continuing to push up to our north into Canada and even the Pacific Northwest. But you can see how weak that is. This is just going to stay fairly persistent. And again, it's going to peak sometime around tomorrow, Saturday, with the heat, right? And then we do see temperatures kind of leveling off a bit here as we go through a good portion of next week. See, again, this is fairly persistent. This is just kind of staying fairly steady, so temperatures around 100 degrees in the valley. But then by the end of next week, we're beginning to see this kind of push down a little bit more to the south. That should allow our temperatures to begin to drop a little bit here toward the end of next week. But bottom line, we're still seeing mainly within that above normal category when we're talking about those temperatures, as the cooler temperatures should stay up to our north. I don't anticipate any rainfall, thunderstorms, or anything of that nature, but there you can see some of the clouds. And again, what we're seeing here is just a lot of high and mid-level clouds. Looks like a little bit more cloud cover off in the eastern mountains later this afternoon. By the way, that marine layer, it is holding on here as we go through the day today. May be difficult for some areas along the coast to clear out. You can see it's fairly persistent tomorrow morning, making its way into some of those inland valleys as well. So tomorrow morning, starting off with some pretty dense fog in some areas here along the coast. But look at that, plenty of sunshine elsewhere. Friday afternoon, I do anticipate to see that marine layer begin to break apart a little bit. We'll still call it mostly cloudy, though, for a good portion of the day tomorrow for the coast. And then going into Saturday morning, that fog kind of reestablishes itself and looks like another deep marine layer coming in from the west. So we're beginning to see more of that, what are you going into here, June gloom, if you will, is what we're looking at here along the coast here, because that fog is going to be kind of coming and going here over the next few days. All right, here's your precipitation outlook from the Climate Prediction Center, and it's putting us in the drier than normal category. That's not hard to do because we just typically don't see a lot of rainfall this time of the year. Now, we look at the wave heights for today. They're not going to be much change here over from the past 24 hours, but it looks like as we go into Friday, those wave heights may increase a little bit. But as of right now, no small craft advisories. Just those winds coming from the northwest at 5 to 10 knots through the first half of the day. Those wave heights, by the way, will increase as we go through the afternoon, but there will be some of that patchy dense fog, especially this morning. So here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Even in Trinity County, getting up to about 100 degrees here for Friday, Saturday, maybe even into Sunday, but then back down into the mid-90s. by Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And there you can see your North Coast neighborhood forecast. Temperatures in the low 60s. It looks like it's a little bit warmer, but again, see the cloud cover that we're seeing here. Maybe some less cloud cover possibly by the end of the weekend and early next week. 72 for a high today in Smith River, 83 for Gas Key. There's Orleans with about 86 and 92 degrees for a high today in Willow Creek. So it's beginning to warm up, even the inland areas in the higher elevations, seeing those warmer temperatures. We're up to 95 in Happy Camp. There's Hornbrook about 94, 89 for Weed and Mount Shasta City, and Dunsmuir about 91 degrees. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast, mid-80s, give or take, about 84 for Tule Lake, 84 for Calpines, and there's El Turret with a high of about 86 degrees. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, 80s and 90s. About 90 for Fall River Mills, 90 in Shingletown, almost 10 degrees cooler up in Viola with a high of about 81. And your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by NorCal Tractor. Temperatures about 95 degrees for Corning, 92 Hamilton City, and 93 degrees out in Willows. But it is warmer as you head to the north. Again, inching closer to that 100-degree mark, 99 for Redding, 99 for Palisadro, and 96 degrees, that is, for Lakehead. Let's take a look at that 7-day outlook for Redding. Of course, today is the first day of summer officially. The summer solstice will occur at 1:50 this afternoon, and then it will officially be summer. But it's still spring this morning, but it's not going to feel like it, especially by tomorrow, especially by Saturday, right? And then temperatures do start to drop slightly, but just kind of hovering and leveling out right around 100 degrees. Like I mentioned, we may start to see that dip in the temperatures by the end of next week.
Everywhere I go, I'm riding with pride. I'm riding on my go-go. Watch me glide. Everywhere I go, I'm getting around. I'm riding on my go-go. All over town, I'm riding in style and feeling so right. It's easy to take and it's all so light. Everywhere I go, I'm riding on my go-go.
Everything Medical, your mobility experts.